Hi everyone, welcome and thank you for being here. I apologize for not posting something sooner, but for the sake of my own mental health, I needed to step away from social media and mainstream media in terms of certain items like war and crime, etc. But I mean, what else is there? So I took a week to watch a silly Netflix series instead of preparing the next day's video or videos. In any event, today I do not have a case for you, but instead something which impacts a country, its economy, and eventually impacts us all as it spreads like a deadly disease from one place to another. And I think there should be urgent talks around this subject and urgent solutions sought. So today we're going to talk about a thing called the zombie drug. Now, the zombie drug is a collective name for, in particular, there are more, but in particular, three types of drugs. Desomorphine, a synthetic opioid known by its street name crocodile or crocodile, and also called a zombie drug. Then there is alpha pyrrolidinopentiphenone, goodness, a synthetic stimulant also known as Flakka, Flakka, or the zombie drug. And then the most common in some areas, xylazine or xylazine, I don't know how you pronounce it, Xylazin. It is a horse sedative used recreationally by itself or in combination with other drugs, also known by its street name trank, or also referred to as a zombie drug. Then there's a thing called spice, which is a zombie drug in a vape. Spice is highly dangerous. Spice is also a synthetic drug which mimics the effect of cannabis, but is far more potent with very different effects on the brain. It has indeed also been named a zombie drug because of the debilitating effects it has. It causes psychosis, loss of movement, vomiting, diarrhea, and can even cause seizures, etc. Xylazine, though, can be swallowed, inhaled, smoked, snorted, or injected, and its effects kicks in within minutes and can last for 8 hours or longer. The other effects of xylazine, for instance, cause sedation, difficulty breathing, dangerously low blood pressure, slowed heart rate, with wounds which become infected, and ultimately it can and will cause death. The presence of the most commonly used in the United States, xylazine, has increased in every region of the United States from 2020 until now. Here are just a few statistics for the year 2020 to 2021. In one study of 10 U.S. cities, it was found that xylazine was present in less than 1% of drug overdoses in 2015, but in nearly 7% in 2020. In Philadelphia, xylazine was found in 31% of all overdose deaths. The studies are long and plentiful, but it is very clear that the United States and other countries, but the United States in particular, faces yet another crisis which will need attention soon, very soon, if it is not already too late. Xylazine in combination with fentanyl, for instance, is deadly. These flesh-eating zombie drugs are now saturating the streets of say, Los Angeles, the very city of angels. Other cities like Philadelphia and even Washington and Hollywood have areas where users live on the street and openly use these drugs. To make matters even worse, federal data shows that about 23% of fentanyl powder and 7% of fentanyl pills seized last year actually contained xylazine. In 2022, just more than 500 people died from overdoses in San Francisco, and in 2021, it was 641. The homelessness crisis is bolstered by the fentanyl and zombie drug crisis. All in all, and most importantly, the number of United States deaths linked to synthetic drugs climbed to a record number of 70,000. The damage of this epidemic is far-reaching, much further than the damage addicts do to themselves and their families. Those living on the street, sleeping in tents if they are lucky, or sleeping in sleeping bags in doorways, etc., who defecate and do their business in the streets, cause widespread decline in the areas they frequent, which in turn affect any and all businesses in any area they frequent and display this behavior in. There are indeed, if I look at the videos taken by vehicles driving through these areas, there are areas which look like ghost cities, dirty, with businesses all boarded up. Some of these areas look apocalyptic or like something out of a Mad Max movie, yet it is a part of a city like Los Angeles, and it absolutely boggles the mind to think that if you look just up, if you stand in this area and you look up the hill, that right on top of the hill there are multi-million-dollar homes. Yet down the same drag, a couple of kilometers further, you see this. I listened to a police chief speak the other day, and the reason he gave for not doing much to try and stop the epidemic in the city was that they can't take, remove, or ban xylazine because it's legal. I went, excuse me? I know it's an animal tranquilizer drug, but I was flabbergasted. I could only gape at the man. And I thought, well then, make it illegal or illegal to sell it to anyone who is not a vet or has a permit to buy it. What could be easier? I don't know what the total solution is, but for Pete's sakes, do something. And if you bring in legislation which says that people can only buy this stuff with a permit, I'm sure it will already help. Yes, the guys will go on to other drugs then, but at least there's one less to worry about. The second thing that needs to be done is these people need to be removed from the streets. I don't know, what the solution is once again, but I mean, put them in camps if you have to, where they can be housed and fed and get medical care and get counseling. And yes, to set up a camp like that will be expensive, and to have the doctors and counselors on site will be expensive. But at the moment, I think the loss of income of business owners impacted by these sick people is far more than it will cost to set up such a camp just outside every big city. Do something to help clean the streets. I have a feeling that the reward once the streets are cleaned and businesses move back will be far more than the expense to take these people off the street. Those so-called zombie drugs have also infiltrated Europe and Britain, as well as our dear old South Africa, where crocodile has already been found on our streets, and fentanyl is not something we are not familiar with. With the resignation from Joe Biden as presidential nominee, I think the time is ripe to address the issue with the likely winner of the next election, which at this point looks to be Trump. I know I'm talking America, 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 but all our cities, London, Johannesburg, Durban, Los Angeles, Amsterdam, Paris, and many others, need cleaning up. Our respective governments cannot do a proper job before they clean up their own house, clean our streets, and bring businesses back. And already there will be more revenue, more jobs, and safer environments. I'm well aware that not everyone can be saved, but if only 1 out of every 10 addicts taken off the streets can clean up, it will save the state a lot of money in medical and eventually burial costs. Hopefully, Mr. Trump, who is an excellent businessman, will see this and will start cleaning in-house and inspire other leaders to do the same. Now, okay, ladies and gentlemen, this topic is definitely not exhausted yet, and we'll definitely do a deep dive later. But for now, I'll let you go. Please take good care of yourselves until we meet again on the next one. Bye.